I just recently, last week, sold a building, 7 flat around the corner. And in the investment realm right now, like the 6 to 20 flats, there aren't a tremendous amount of them around here. But when they trade between about $105,000 a unit to somewhere almost $200,000. I saw one was $175. Now, if you go to mixed-use buildings, you can get up to 300 plus a unit.
For investment purposes.
For investment purposes. So the reason that I think the mixed use is so much more is because you've got an owner user that wants to use that commercial space, and so there's a greater value for them to be able to buy it as opposed to lease it.
Can you cash flow on investment property here?
That's one of the interesting things, that before you could never cash flow on an investment property. The people that were buying them were 1031 exchange buyers, and to explain what that is, that's someone who's coming out of a different property and has a really good down payment to put down. Obviously, the more money you put down on a property, the better the numbers work. But then there's a lot of other reasons to buy other than just cash flow. I mean, the number one reason would be appreciation, I would say. And that's always kind of been a target in real estate, that you're buying an investment property, you're going for the appreciation over the years.
But that's something that people are skeptical about today, aren't they?
They're very skeptical about it today. However, the people that are buying the investment properties are people that are pretty well versed in it, or they've got a background in it. Like the gentleman who bought the building on Winchester I just sold. That sold for $995. It was a 7-unit building. I sold it to my client about 8 years ago for $650. Over the years, he's probably put about $80,000 into it. But then if you add in all of the tax benefits, the depreciation he's written off, it's been a very good investment for him. In Bucktown right now, things have kind of changed as far as what people are going to do with the property, because for a long time they didn't have to cash flow. It was a per unit price. How much do you have to put in it? How much are you going to sell it for? It was all the developers had the market for investment properties. Now they've kind of dropped out of the game now as a developer. Now they're kind of putting on their investment hat, saying, how can I get this building to work for me until the market turns, and then I can convert it? So it's a different strategy now. Because of that, the per unit price has come way down. I do have some examples of properties. If we drive around, and I can kind of show you some of that. And it's a trying time, but it's a great time for a buyer. A buyer that's well qualified, that's got the money, that can really pull a deal off, a transaction off, can do a really good job and get a good buy, especially this time of year.
You touched on kind of an interesting point a while back about buying property that's not yet on the market. And
people really like that. They want to feel like they've got the inside scoop. And
how do they do that?
Well, what's happened to me is I've had enough investment listings throughout the last 10, 12 years that people that know me and they've got buildings will call me and say, Greg, I'm not ready to list my building with you, but I would look at an offer for this. And so I'll discuss with them their price range and look at their buildings, and I'll have that in my portfolio. And then yesterday I took on an investment buyer and I showed him 8 properties, 5 of which are not on the market currently. So you can't go to the multiple listing service and find it. You can't go to Craigslist and get it. You'd have to come to someone like me that has the inside scoop. So that's one of the good things about being around a long time and having a very good reputation, so that people want to work with you. And I'd probably say a good majority of the buildings that do trade end up trading without the multiple listing service once you get to the 6 to 20 unit building.